Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me one quick favor, see that little black subscribe button on the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, hit that little black subscribe button. Really does help this channel grow, my audience grow, and I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you again. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Switch gears. I want to get to one other football story before we kind of transition to some other stuff here. But the story has to do with, surprise, surprise, the biggest story probably in sports right now. That's Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and the Colorado Buffaloes. And look, by now, everybody knows the deal, right? This is, I think it's the biggest story in sports. I don't think that's hyperbole. The TV ratings reflect that. Everybody is interested. It was wild because about 3 or 4 days ago, Coach Prime was actually on Good Morning America, and my wife was asking me about it, like who are his sons? And they play there too, and what does it mean? So this story is captivating everybody. But one thing that I have kept thinking about is the impact, the stuff that we see, the wins and losses. Well, the wins, there have been no losses, but the way in which they're doing it, the flair, the excitement, the celebrities. I keep thinking to myself, at some point, it is going to blow up in recruiting, because I can't imagine being a 17, 18-year-old kid, even younger, and being able to go to any school in America and basically not considering Colorado based on the show and the excitement that they create every time they take the field on Saturday. And so I bring it up because I think we are starting to see that trickle-down effect. And there was one story specifically on Thursday that caught my eye and makes me realize, boy, oh boy, oh boy, if you think the Colorado story is crazy during the regular season, wait until we get to recruiting season in December, January, and February, okay? So the story that I saw, it involves a 5-star wide receiver named Ryan Wingo, considered one of the top 10 high school players in America. He's out of St. Louis. His recruitment's gone a bunch of different ways, but it felt as though, at least coming into Thursday, that his recruitment was essentially down to Texas and his home state school in Missouri. Those were basically the two schools battling it out, and Texas was perceived to be the leader. Well, on Thursday, we got an interesting little piece of information. That is because, according to On3 reporter Chad Simmons, Ryan Wingo has decided at the last minute that next Saturday he is going to take an official visit to the Colorado Buffaloes and watch that Colorado USC game. Now, it's a million years between now and when he's going to commit, and there is a lot to happen, and Texas should still be perceived to be the favorite. But the fact that in such a short amount of time, Coach Prime was able to get this kid on campus and get this kid interested in Colorado, I am here to tell you, I believe this recruiting stuff is about to blow up over the next 3, 4, 5 months for Colorado, and certainly beyond that going forward. In terms of Ryan Wingo, by the way, really quick, I'm far from a recruiting expert, but you turn on the tape, this guy's the truth, man. He's a champion sprinter in the state of Missouri, out of St. Louis again. But what I would say is, you know, there's an old saying in football. There are track guys who play football. In other words, guys with great straight line speed, but they're not really football players. And then there are football guys who also happen to run fast on the track. Ryan Wingo is definitely the latter, as he is a dude that every time he touches the ball, it is electricity going through the arena. Fast, shifty, cuts, this, that. Every time he touches the ball, it's a show. And you can see why he is so highly coveted. And you can see that this is the kind of guy that could step onto a college campus on day one and have immediate impact as a wide receiver. So he is a difference maker. And what I would say is the fact that Colorado is in the hunt, man, I can't even imagine. We talked the other day about the possibility of Shedeur Sanders returning for another year. Imagine adding this guy to a receiving core that would include Travis Hunter and all the other guys that are either returning or will come in the portal. But beyond that, I think this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what recruiting can look like over the next couple months. First of all, you even go back to last Saturday. It was surreal in Colorado, in Boulder, watching on TV. But there were already some big-time recruits that were there. We talked a few weeks ago. Bryce Underwood, the #1 quarterback in the class of 2025. In other words, he is a junior in high school right now. Believed to be Michigan and LSU were the heavy favorites. Oh, but he was at Colorado last week. And how about this? He was supposed to go out for the USC game, not this week, but next week, the one that Ryan Wingo's going to be at. And he couldn't even wait. So he went 2 weeks earlier to the Colorado State game to check it out himself. Trip reportedly went really well. Now he's going to Penn State, and he's another guy. Recruiting is far from over, but he does plan on committing in the winter here to kind of get a start on a lot of different things, including recruiting teammates to his school. So you can only imagine, obviously the reports were glowing out of Boulder last week. And if Colorado gets him, I mean, it is game on. And obviously Coach Prime was selling him on, hey, Shedor's coming back next year. We'll see if that actually happens. But you would obviously be the heir apparent there. A couple other names that were out in Colorado last weekend that I think are worth noting really quick. One kid by the name of Jeremiah Beeman, a defensive lineman from Birmingham, is committed to Alabama. He's actually one of Alabama's top-ranked commits. He decided to take a visit to Colorado. Now, to be clear, it's perfectly normal for committed kids in most cases to visit other schools. But what the reports about this kid and the time that he had were unbelievable. He posted the full photo shoot on social media. His mom was posting videos of the crowd cheering for him. He talked in multiple interviews about the excitement and also the beauty of Colorado and doing something different and all that stuff. And so you talk about the type of kid that Colorado needs to compete at the highest level. That's the kind of kid you want. Also worth noting, Jordan Seaton, depending on what recruiting service you look at, some have him as, he's certainly a top 100 player, fringe 5-star, kind of 4-star guy. But some recruiting services have him as one of the number one or number 2 rated offensive linemen in all of college football. And again, he in interviews basically said, yeah, Coach Prime told me there's playing time to be had on the offensive line, which, by the way, if you watch Colorado, is not a surprise. But it speaks to Coach Prime is going after the biggest names, and their pitch is resonating with kids. And so I think about all of this, and I think about a couple things. One, I just said it a minute ago. First of all, even before anything, these are the kind of kids that Colorado needs, right? I've never doubted the ability of Colorado and Coach Prime to recruit difference makers on the outside, skill position guys. Obviously, Dylan Edwards in this recruiting class is a prime example of that. Cornerback, safeties, things like that. But we all know to win at the highest level, and Coach Prime knows this too. You got to go out and get the big boys. You got to go out and get the difference makers up front. Those are the guys that the Georgias have, the Alabamas have, the Texases have. Those are the guys that win you national championships. Not just about beating TCU, not just about beating Nebraska. Great that Colorado has done it so far, but those are the guys that you need to win at the highest level. Beyond that, and I know I said it to lead the segment, but the Ryan Wingo thing really reminds me. I think that as crazy as this season has been so far, I think following the recruiting is going to be that much more fascinating, because at the end of the day, it's what I said a minute ago. I don't know how you can be 16, 17 years old and see the show that is going on in Boulder, see Lil Wayne leading the team out of the tunnel, see The Rock on College Game Day, see College Game Day out there, see Big Noon Kickoff out there, and not want to at least check it out, if not be a part of it. Now, look, not everything is for everybody. There's going to be kids that it's too far from home, or it's the wrong system, or whatever, coaching, whatever. They have a relationship with a different staff. But I'm here to tell you, wait until November into December when we start to get closer to signing day. Just clip this off and save it right now. The number of kids, it's September 21st when I record this, September 22nd, whatever it is. The number of kids that are going, you're going to start to hear buzz about, could Coach Prime flip this guy? Could Colorado flip that guy? It is going to be astronomical, and I think they're going to end up with a really good recruiting class. Now, where it ranks nationally, I don't know, because Coach Prime has kind of let it be known, hey, I want to build largely through the portal, a lot of grad transfers, a lot of older guys. So it remains to be seen, is he going to take the full 25 scholarships? That remains to be seen. But I think you're going to hear a lot of rumors, and I would wrap kind of by saying this too, by the way. Bryce Underwood, you somehow get him to lead your 2025 class, now we're cooking with gasoline here. And I would finally wrap by saying, this is stuff that I've been telling you for months. I remember talking about this when Cormani McClain committed last year. I said, if Coach Prime is doing this with no proof of concept, having never done it at the high major level, the Power 5 level, I can't even imagine what it is going to look like if and when he gets it rolling, and if and when he starts winning big at the highest level. Well, he's 3-0. Obviously a tough game this weekend. But if you think the Coach Prime stuff is slowing down anytime soon, think again. I think it's only going to get crazier as we get closer to national signing.